So it's my birthday. I am at a beautiful, beautiful park that I came across, and there are some lovely trees here. And I was looking to do a Santeria inspired ritual at a crossroads for Ilegua, or I call him Ilegba, because I resonate with some of the Papa Ilegba lore, I guess you would call it, mythos. I guess that's what the non-believers would call it. I actually consider it to be a tradition, but you know, people don't believe stuff. And then I am Puerto Rican, so Ilegua is the version similar in that similar frequency. They're not the same tradition, they're not the same deity, but it's something that I've been looking into, something that I've been studying. And I've never done this ritual in this particular park before, but the trees were just so beautiful here and everything like that, that I thought this would be a great spot. I didn't know that it would be incredibly crowded here. Like everywhere I turned, there were like people, and you're trying to do something private. Now, crossroads rituals, it said, are it's dangerous to do them at night. And I've had meditations with Papa Legba. You know, I'm not an initiate of any particular tradition, and I refuse to want to be one because I crawled out of the church. Remember, I'm not going back in. I'm not going to let other human beings who are fallible and greedy and have all that other stuff in them dictate how my spiritual life goes. Well, wouldn't you just know, as I'm doing my ritual, I get interrupted by a gentleman in a backpack who is that a ritual? I said, yes. And he was like, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, now, as a former Christian, I knew exactly what this was going to be about. I knew it. I knew what it was going to be about because I was trained growing up in the church to approach the lost as we came to know them, and to basically proselytize to them and say, oh, this is what you believe? Well, that's very nice. Let me share with you what I believe. And I could kind of tell that's where he was going. And he was like, so tell me about your spirituality. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to do like a private little birthday ritual. This past weekend-ish was the full moon, and it would have been the perfect time to do it. And this gentleman, it's funny because when I first came to this park, I was looking for a crossroads. Couldn't find one. All of the intersections in this road, this park, all the bicycle paths, they look like they only have 3 entrances to the intersection. Whoa, and as I said that, 333 just popped up on my timer. Okay. There's definitely a lesson to be learned here. Back to the story. So I was looking for a crossroads, couldn't find one, was looking at my GPS, was trying to see, is there like a little trail? I get led to this circle of trees, and wouldn't you just realize that the pattern of walking between these trees was a crossroad. I'm like, oh my gosh, these trees are the perfect place. So that's where I started to do the ritual, and then that gentleman came over and started to talk to me, and I didn't really know how to handle that situation, especially in lieu of what just happened to me earlier this week, where some strange guy came up to me and he blocked my car and kicked in my mirror. And so I'm kind of wary of people right now, and this gentleman comes up and he kind of interrupts my private moment where I was trying to do, like, there's a thing you do where you take red candies, and I got some red candies, and then you place them there, and then hopefully like the ants will get it, and you're feeding nature, and then, you know, you basically do that all together. I was also, when my grandmother passed, someone anonymous gifted me a yellow rose. I was working at the Renaissance Festival and someone left one at my station, and I knew that rose was special. I knew there was friendship behind it, and so I wanted to offer friendship to this place because these trees are, this park is full of these trees that are just full of life and personality, and there's something here, you know? And so I'm gonna give my dried rose that I've had since my grandma passed, I'm gonna leave it in this knothole of a tree that looks like a fairy door. And then this gentleman comes up and he interrupts me. So I'm kind of like, I know I'm looping, I'm spiraling in circles right now because I was a little nervous. Because, I mean, strange person coming up to me, now what? Is this gonna be another altercation? Should I grab my camera? Should I be taping it? And then I realized, well, one of the big asks I've been asking for Papa Elegua is I wanted to get over my anxiety, particularly my anxiety attacks. I lit a candle, I did a ritual, and today I was going to sort of close that ritual, and it's just, it resonates with me that somebody came and kind of triggered a little bit more anxiety, and I didn't know how to handle it because this man wasn't doing anything aggressive. He was, oh, is he behind me? No, he is behind me. Shit. Is that him? Okay, I'm just being neurotic. I hate this. Okay, so lately, before that crazy guy came and kicked my mirror and triggered a whole bunch of panic attacks, I felt like I was finally getting over my anxiety. I had gone to therapy and gotten assertive training, and while that was a struggle and a process, I feel that over the past 6 months or so I've been making some progress in that. And then all this stuff starts happening. People kicking in my door, people getting aggressive, kicking in my mirror on my door. And the funny thing is, that day, after the incident with the guy, I went to a gas station to get gas, and this lady flips out at me. She said, "You're in my way. You've been parked here all morning, even though I literally just pulled in. Get out of the way. You're done getting gas. Get out of the way." Now, I did get gas. I was done getting gas, but I couldn't exit because there was a line of cars trying to come in, so I had to wait till they passed. She wanted that gas pump, so she flipped out at me. Now I'm over here trying to do this shit, and some guy wants to come, and he said, "Oh, am I interrupting your ritual?" And I kind of said, "Well, I am in the middle of it." And he's like, "All right, well, I just have a few questions." That level of persistence is very familiar to me from the church. I think he was going to tell me, you know, spread the gospel, I guess. And I felt myself starting to get panicky. But I was standing in the middle of those crossroads, the natural crossroads between those trees. And I was in sight of that special one tree with the knothole that I was focusing the energy at. And I felt a presence touch my chest like this and say, "You're fine. You can handle this." I just needed to lay down some boundary with this gentleman. So I right away told him, because he said, "So why did you come to the path of paganism?" And I said, "Well, I used to be a Christian." And then the minute he said that, he goes, "Oh, you used to be a Christian. May I ask why you're not anymore?" And I said, "Well, my church broke apart. My pastor skipped town with about $6 million. And I basically had to find my own way spiritually, and I have. And it's no longer the traditions that I originally had. And for some reason, I said that in a matter-of-fact way. He backed off. He backed off and he left me alone, and he said, all right, well, you have a wonderful day, and he was okay, and he left me alone. And I think that's a victory. I do. I think that Papa Legba he's helping me overcome this anxiety that's been plaguing me all my life. I'm tired of bullshit. You know, I made another video earlier today talking about all the political shit. Of course, he complimented my hair, because I just got my hair done, by the way. I just came from a salon that is the only one that I trust to do the color right. And I'm celebrating my birthday by myself because that's kind of what I wanted this year. I'm tired of people looking at my hair and assuming that they know my political stance on things. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. But I'm not a Democrat. I'm registered independent. And I did that on purpose because I don't want any group of person, be it a church, be it a coven, be it a tradition, be it a government, be it a social group, be it people at a job. I don't want anybody to tell me what to think and what to feel and what to do. I'm still looking around, you know? Because he walked off, and he wasn't like threatening or anything. He was just kind of annoying. It's like, oh God, he's gonna do this. He's really gonna do this. Okay. If you ever see that movie Jesus Camp, remember when the little girl was in the bowling alley and she walked up to the blonde girl and was like, Jesus loves you and da-da-da-da. The reason why they have kids do it is because they know that kids are less threatening. And it's also a little bit of emotional blackmail. It's like, look, this kid's cute. Anyway, I'm just tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of jumping around, being scared all the time. I'm tired of panic attacks. I'm tired of people assuming my political affiliation or my philosophical viewpoint in life just because of a hair color. I don't think Trump should have been shot at. I don't think everybody's treating Biden very respectfully, considering he is the president currently, and everybody's calling him old and made fun of him, and now he's out of the race. And I agree with that decision because I don't think his health is. I don't think he's being upfront about his health. I don't trust Kamala Harris. I've heard some things about her, but then again, you hear things about everybody, so I don't know what to trust. But I do know that I don't want to be put in a box. I don't want to be converted to any religion. I don't want to be told how to think. And I don't want to be jumping every time a car passes by in a public park. It's time to stop. It's time to grow. And I'm saying no to the anxiety. I'm not going to give into it anymore. I'm not going to give into the bullying, the social bullying. It's like, oh, you don't agree with Trump, so therefore you love all of these Disney films. I hate Disney. I think that Disney never should have tried to become Epcot. I think that when he built Epcot, he started leaning towards wanting to build his own little micronation, and that's twisted and weird considering he's a cartoonist. You know, stay in your fucking lane. And to this day, the Disney company won't stay in their fucking lane. They're telling people that they're going to go for the children, and that's supposed to be a favorable viewpoint. And then everybody's like, no, 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 they're just in favor of supporting trans kids. And I'm like, okay, but there's a lot of different things going on there. There's big pharma that's trying to make money. So they're like, ooh, if you transition, you basically have to make at least 20 to 30,000 a year or something like that just to maintain yourself. And we want everybody to jump into that pool because there's no climbing out once you jump out, you know, get them when they're young so that they're lifelong medical patients, which I'm like, no. See, now you got a big corporation using emotional manipulation to make money, and that has nothing to do with supporting trans kids. And I wish people would see that. If you really want to support trans kids, be kind to them, accept them, let them figure things out. And if it turns out that they weren't trans at the end of it all, okay, that was the one thing they thought for a minute. Big deal, you know. I thought I was going to be an evangelist at one point, you know. I just feel like I'm not going to be silenced by social pressures, be they from the left or the right, the pagans or the Christians, the atheists or the agnostics. Nobody has the right to tell me how to think anymore. Nobody ever did. But I'm 41 years old before I realized that I had to be the one to say no. When I told the guy I used to be a Christian, I think that was a good, firm boundary that I drew that he had no choice but to honor. I'm good.